Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. In today's video, I'm going to explain how to obtain 100% for a mental condition. As a former VA rater, I rated and adjudicated many of these claims, and there were veterans that were able to get 100% for a mental condition. Make sure you stick around. Before we get into today's video, make sure you go to the description section below, click the link and sign up for my monthly veteran membership. We still have slots available, so I hope to see you within the membership. Now, before I get into today's video, I want everybody to understand, I am not advocating anyone go out and just try to get 100% for a mental condition if they don't believe that they deserve it. This video is for individuals that feel that the trauma for the mental condition they've been diagnosed for falls under the VA's diagnostic code criteria for 100%. That is it. If you feel you should be 100% for your mental condition, this video is for you, and I'm going to show you how. And as you always know, I got some slides for you, so let's go ahead and get into it. Slide number one. Here's slide number one. These are some mental diagnoses in the VA's rating scheduler. Now, there's many more. I just picked these because as a former VA rater, these are the ones I saw the most. So anxiety disorder and mood disorders. And out of the two, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, diagnostic code 9411. And then if you look on the mood disorder, major depressive disorder. These were, I would say, tied for first in the ratings that I adjudicated when veterans were filing claims for a mental condition, whether I granted 10%, 30%, 50, 70, or 100, okay? So you definitely want to go out and look at these different diagnoses to see which one that you may have. Now, I'm not a mental health professional. Only a mental health professional can diagnose you based on your trauma, your symptoms, your residuals, okay? So I can't do it and nobody else can't do it if they are not a mental health professional. Okay, move right along. Slide number two. Here's slide number two. This is the general rating formula for mental disorders. Now, one thing you got to keep in mind, it doesn't matter if you're diagnosed with PTSD or if you're diagnosed with, let's say, major depressive disorder. The rating criteria for any mental disorder is going to be the same at 0, 10, 30, 50, 70, or 100%. This is the 100%. So let's go through it. Total occupational and social impairment. On the DBQ, which I'll show a little bit later, a section from the DBQ, it asks, what is the veteran's occupational and social impairment? Total. Now, what does total, I don't want to say what is the definition, but the best way to explain it is maybe give you some examples, okay? So you may have veterans that rarely ever go out and interact socially. They don't have a lot of friends. Or if they go to the grocery store, they may go to the grocery store early in the morning when there's not a lot of people around because they don't like being around a lot of people. Or they may go late at night before the grocery store closes. They don't go to concerts. They don't go to family picnics. And if they do, it is very limited, okay? They don't have a lot of social interaction. If they go to a restaurant, they may sit with their back to the door because they want to see people going and coming. They may not like people standing behind them very close, especially when you go to the bank. They may not want to go inside the bank, so they may go to certain ATMs to deposit and withdraw money. They may do a lot of online banking, okay? That's just some examples from social impairment, okay? Total occupational impairment. Now this is a good one because for some reason there are some people, and some of those people work at the VA, that think if you're 100% for a mental condition, you can't work. No, that is not true. Now in some cases it is, but it's not true in every case. So total occupational. I'm gonna give you a nugget. You ready? If the doctor states you have to work from home, work remotely, to work in a safe environment, which your home is a safe environment. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Your doctor states that you must work from home remotely because your home is a safe environment. Now, when do you see this? What are one of the reasons that you see this? Military sexual trauma victims. If someone was sexually assaulted in the military, whether it be female or male, but let's just use the example of a female. Female sexually assaulted in the military, and they work with males. And it's hard for them to have that interaction. Now, that's just one example, okay? I'm pretty sure there's many more out there, okay? I'm just using that as an example. So they may not want to be around their peers or their coworkers. Or just take, for example, someone that doesn't want to be around or interact with people, maybe a salesperson. So they work from home and they do a lot of video conference calls or just phone calls in general, okay? So their home is a safe environment for them, okay? And it's protected. Now also it goes on to say due to such symptoms, and I'll show you that section from the DBQ as well. But other things that I have in here highlighted is or. So you don't have to meet all of these criteria. It's telling you due to such symptoms as gross impairment in thought process, keep that in mind, or communication consistent with delusions, or hallucinations, grossly inappropriate behavior, persistent danger of hurting self or others, intermediate inability to perform activities of daily living, including maintenance of minimal personal hygiene. Now, there are some veterans that fall in that category as well. When it comes to this, do not overthink it. If you're going out and getting a private DBQ from a mental health professional, talk through these things, okay? Simple as that. Let's keep going. Slide number 3. This is page 2 of the DBQ, occupational and social impairment. We already went over that, okay? We just went over that. Now you see in section 4A, these are all the occupational and social impairment. So if you go to the diagnostic code criteria and the different percentages, like for the 70%, guess what you'll see? Occupational and social impairment with deficiencies in most areas such as work, school, family relations, judgment, thinking, and or mood. That box check, that represents the 70%, but we're talking about total occupational and social impairment. If you feel you meet that, your examiner checks that box. Now, when I rated, I did not see a lot of VA or third-party examiners checking that box. I saw it mostly from veterans' private mental health providers, okay? But again, that's one of those things that you as a veteran, you're gonna have to talk through with your mental health provider. Let's keep going. Slide number 4. This is page 5 of the symptoms, okay? This is page 5 of the symptoms. So when it talked about such symptoms as, here you go. That's it right there. And again, the best thing to do, whether you go to a private examiner to get a DBQ completed or even a third-party VA examiner, you show up for the C&P exam, familiarize yourself with these symptoms. Because if you have any of these, then that's what you want to be talking about on that C&P exam, especially if they fall under 100% criteria and you feel you meet that criteria. Let's just say, for example, you don't have a private mental health professional and you go to a VA third-party exam, meaning your private mental health professional, for whatever reason, don't want to do the DBQ. You could ask them, say, okay, well, examiner, put that in my progress notes, meaning these symptoms that meet the 100% criteria. And if they do that, guess what evidence you're submitting with your claim? That particular progress notes showing that you have these symptoms, because when the rater goes into VBMS, they can click those boxes because you have those symptoms. And especially if the examiner from the third party like QTC, LHI does not check those boxes, if your progress notes have those symptoms, they can use that when they're adjudicating their claim. So I hope that wasn't too much, but I'm going to break it down for you real quick. Okay. So the last two slides I showed you, that's the information that raters are plugging in to VBMS. They're checking a box with occupational and social impairment, and then they're checking the boxes of the symptoms. Now, they're looking at all the evidence as well, because I've had veterans that on the DBQ met only 70%, but they submitted additional progress reports or some other forms of evidence that gave me the ability to move that 70% to 100%. Okay, so depending on where you're getting your treatment, your symptoms is going to play a major role in getting that 100% if you feel you should be 100%. Okay, but if that total and social occupational impairment box is checked, and then you meet those other symptoms that's in that 100%, they should grant 100%. And if not, now you know how to reasonably articulate your symptomology as to why you should be 100% if you do a high-level review, okay? It is not that hard if you feel you meet it and you have the correct evidence that shows you meet it, okay? So that is what I just showed you, is a couple of ways I was able to grant, and I saw veterans obtain 100% for a mental condition, okay? So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.